Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the City Reorganization Meeting. We appreciate you all being here with us this evening. This is obviously an exciting day for many people. I'd like to ask that if you happen to have a cell phone, if you wouldn't mind turning that off, we'd appreciate it. In the case of an emergency, please speak in a loud, clear voice because we got about 40 police officers, fire personnel, and emergency medical personnel around us, and you'll be all right. And then I want to acknowledge some people in the room before we get started. We have with us today many special guests. We have the Comptroller of the State of Maryland who just walked in the door, Mr. Peter Francio. Comptroller. We have our County Executive, Bob Culver. We have County Council President John Cannon. County Councilman John Hall. County Councilman Larry Dodd. County Councilman Mark Kilmer. And County Councilman Ernie Davis. We also have with us Senator Jim Mathias. Delegate Christopher Adams. Delegate Cherie Sample Hughes. And Delegate Carl Anderton. We also have with us a few other elected officials and former elected officials. We have the Vice Mayor of Delmar, Bunky Luffman. Former Council Member Michael Day. Former Council President Carolyn Hall. And former Council President Von Siggers.
Louise Smith is here.
Oh, we also have former Council President Louise Smith. And of course, we have former Council President Mike Dunn. Where is Mike? Also want to acknowledge former Secretary of Planning for the State of Maryland, Rich Hall. I also want to thank Ernie Colburn, President of the Chamber of Commerce, and Bill Reddish, representative of Andy Harris, Congressman Andy Harris, and Linda Prohaska, representative of Senator Barbara Mikulski. Thank you all for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll now ask you to please rise for the presentation of the colors, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Take your seats. Before I call this meeting to order, I would just like to take a brief moment and ask you to bow your heads in a moment of silence as we remember those who lost their lives or lost loved ones in the unconscionable attacks on the city of Paris and on the West. I would now like to call Pastor Bill Cropper, Senior Pastor at the Uprising Church, forward to give the city invocation.
Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council, I consider it an honor tonight to be able to pray over our city. It records in the book of 2 Chronicles that during the time of King Solomon, the son of King David, who had one of the most successful political tenures of any leader in the history of the nation of Israel, Solomon as a leader along with the people prayed to God and toward heaven, and God actually responded with his tangible power and presence as fire came down from heaven right there. And I would suppose that if that happens tonight, we're in the right place. I'm not just a Protestant pastor or a clergy that's assigned to a particular part of this program tonight. I'm a person amongst many other persons that are here tonight. I'm a man who loves my family, loves this community, and loves the city of Salisbury. I love this county that I've been a part of and tried my best to serve for the last 20 years. And I love this nation as well. And tonight I'm amongst others who love their families and who love this city and who love this community and county along with loving this great nation. And so tonight I'm asking you that you would pray with me for our city and for our community, for the city of Salisbury and for all of us who live here. Pray that God would come to our aid with his real presence and power. Let us pray. O Lord our God, as we are faced daily with threats of terrorism and attacks of terror globally and against us as an American people, we ask God for your protection to be real and present over the city of Salisbury and our community. Protect our children, God, and our school systems. Protect our public places, God. Protect our private homes and families from this enemy of terror. O Lord our God, in a culture of economic uncertainty, we ask you tonight to bless Salisbury and the surrounding local economy and provide for us. We even ask you, God, for our region to prosper, not because we are special, but simply because we ask and pray. O Lord our God, in a time of great civil unrest that borders on anarchy in many of our cities, we ask you over Salisbury for your peace as a city and a community, that peace would be our borders and you would guard our gates against all else. And for our leaders tonight, God, for our mayor and for our city council, and for all of those under their authority who serve, we ask you, O Lord, for you to give them wisdom and knowledge and understanding to lead rightly and with justice. We ask you to protect them from all of their enemies. We ask you to give them oneness and unity as they govern over us as a people. We ask you, O God, to lead them, and as they allow you to lead them, you would establish the work of their hands. Yes, you would establish the work of their hands. And I ask you, God, tonight in closing for your very real presence and power to respond to our prayer in the days and weeks and months and years ahead over Salisbury and this region. And though it may not be visible by fire, let it be so evident, God, that we would declare and even record in days to come that you are with us. In the name of Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Bill. Well, I now hereby call this meeting to order, and I will entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify your support by saying aye. And the chair votes aye. Adopted unanimously. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the November 9th, 2015 regular meeting minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify your support by saying aye. And the chair votes aye. I'll now entertain a motion to approve the November 9th, 2015 closed session minutes. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify your support by saying aye. And the chair votes aye. Well, now that the exciting part of the meeting is out of the way, I would like to, I know what you all came here for, I would like to now offer some time for those who have served you to offer some closing thoughts. And we'll begin with Mayor Ireton.
Good evening, Council President Day, council members, all the dignitaries that are here with us this evening. I say welcome to you who have traveled near and far to be here in our Salisbury Fire headquarters for tonight's ceremony. On a night like this, it doesn't seem like thank yous could possibly be enough. But still, to family and friends and loved ones that make serving in public office possible, I say on behalf of all of us here, thank you, for without your unwavering support, none of this would be possible for any of us. I want to say thank you to the Wicomico County Board of Elections, our city clerk and our assistant clerk, and our city Board of Elections for the work that they have done over the past several months, getting us to this point this evening. I want to say thank you to our city department heads and all of our city employees who do the work required day after day to keep our city running. And if you are a city department head or a city employee, if you will please stand and be recognized by all here this evening. Also to Mr. Stevenson, our city administrator, and Mr. Pick, who preceded him, and all of those who have worked in my office over the last 6 years. I extend my deepest gratitude for all that you have done for me day in and day out. I thank all of those who have served on the city councils, past and present, for their unwavering work ethic and their willingness to get the work of our people done. And speaking of our people, above all else, I thank those residents who saw fit to enable me to serve them every day. They are the unsung heroes of our city. I am grateful to them for the opportunity to come to City Hall every day for the past 6 years and do exactly what I told them that I would do. The last press release today out of my office brought more good news of the sound financial footing that the city finds itself in. And I am proud to turn over the keys to City Hall to Mayor-elect Day, with this being the case. To Jake and your family, your wife and daughter, I extend to you a warm welcome to your new home, the mayor's office, and I await the incredible things that we will continue to do together. This evening, we witness in this place and at this time something that across the world over, peoples, nations, communities ever strive for: the peaceful transition of power from one government to the next. For that and for this opportunity to have served as Salisbury mayor, I'm grateful. I pass this city from one strong set of hands to another strong set of hands. So this evening, may God bless you. May God bless Salisbury. May God bless the Eastern Shore of Maryland and the state of Maryland. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Mr. Heath?
Yes. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming this evening and tell you that in my first year on the council, I have thoroughly enjoyed every minute. I've come to know the power of our city and the goodness of the people who work for it. They have welcomed me, they have listened to my many, many, many questions, and they've done an outstanding job. And I look forward to my next 4 years. Thank you very much.
Mr. Spieth?
I always pity the person who has to speak after Mayor Ireton, or outgoing Mayor Ireton, because he says it all and he says it so fluently. There are a couple of things I'd like to say. Mayor Ireton, or outgoing Mayor Ireton, said that the department heads are the best we've had in years and years, and I totally agree with that. These are some of the best folks and the most able and the most involved people that we've had on our payrolls in decades, and I really mean that seriously. There are a couple of unsung heroes, though, too. I'd like to point out our city clerk, Kimberly Nichols, and the assistant city clerk, city clerk, Diane Nelson. Frankly, without them, especially in our tender years in the first year or two on council, we wouldn't know what we were doing without them, to tell the truth. And their helps all the way through. They keep our paperwork straight. They keep our meetings, within compliance, and we thank them every day for it. These last 4.5 years have been an experience for me. I remember when I first ran that I said I wouldn't forgive myself if I hadn't. And I'm thankful to say that I did, and I think the last 4.5 years have been good for me, and I think good for the city as well. I've worked hard, and I've seen the city turn to better things than it had in the past. I think that the city has a terrific future. I think that the people here are involved, and they're expectant of greater things than Salisbury has ever had before. And again, I thank you for your support, and I thank you for this opportunity to have served you. Thank you again.
Ms. Shields?
Thank you. I'm so excited to see all these people here, and I wish we could see all these people at our city council meetings. I just love it. I just love to see people being involved and supporting the city of Salisbury. I want to thank God for giving me the patience and the strength during these times of service, these 10 years. I want to thank also my late husband who supported me, my children, my siblings for their support. And I want to give honor to my mentors prior to me getting on city council. And that was the late Mayor Paul Martin, the late Pete Cooper, James Leonard, and Murray B. Pinkett, who shared their wisdom with me. I want to thank the former Mayor Barry Tillman, the newly elected council member and past Mayor Jim Ireton, who listened to my concerns for District 1. Most important, as the mayor said, is our assets is the city employees. I want to thank them because when I called, they listened and they got back with me diligently. I didn't have to wait weeks or months. I think the first thing I did when I got on the city council with Germania Circle was a concern of mine. And John Jacobs at the time filed for a $20,000 grant through MEMA to do a study for all the floodplains in the city of Salisbury. But 10 years later, we received the funding for Germania Circle. I want to thank not only the first city clerk I came in contact with, Brenda, and she's here tonight, Kim, and Diane. These three ladies kept me straight these 10 years. I have a bad habit of not checking emails. And I want to thank the citizens of Salisbury who bestowed this honor by giving me this time of service. And I want to let you know that I'm here for the new elected Councilwoman April Jackson, Mayor Bodo, Jim Ireton, Mayor Day, Laura Mitchell, and the city and county of Salisbury, because I'm not going anywhere. I'm taking a little hiatus, but I will be here voicing my opinion on the public comment side. So I'm gonna keep you, because one of the concerns, April, I have is the place on Lake Street where George L. Ralph was. I want to see that tore down. So I think we have some environmental issues, but it's coming up on the agenda, and I will be at that meeting to make sure that they are listening. So again, thank you for allowing me to have this service. I really enjoyed it. Sometimes it was trying, but you persevere and you turn the other cheek. It was hard sometimes for me, but I learned to do that. So I guess it was my age that was showing. So again, thank you, and thank you for the citizens that came out tonight, and I'll pass it on to Laura.
Anyone else have any projects they want to advocate for from up here? Come on.
I do
Ms.
have a
Mitchell.
list. Wait a minute, I have a list. Yeah. Seriously, as I start to think about tonight and starting another term, the first 4.5 years have been amazing. I've learned a lot, but more importantly, I've met a lot of amazing people. And I have thoroughly enjoyed it, advocating for Salisbury and for a lot of other issues surrounding that, and involving people and making those connections. It's just truly been outstanding. And I'm very, very pleased to have another 4 years to continue to do that. I started to look at the list of things that we've done in the last 4.5 years. Even in the last 2.5 years, it was too much. I realized there were other people that had to speak tonight too. This wasn't the Laura Mitchell show. So I just want to say that I hope that you will all continue to be involved and continue to come to meetings. We rarely see turnouts like this. Occasionally we see a really good turnout. I would love to see more of this, but more importantly, we need to hear from you every day, knowing what's going on. We put out the agendas, we put out our information, we have coffee with your council. We're doing all that we can to be as transparent about what we're doing, but the only way that we can effectively represent you is by hearing from you. So I hope that you will all continue to support all of us as we move forward in the next 4 years. There are some really exciting things coming, and that list will be long, really long, of what we do, I think, in the next 4 years. And I hope that you will continue to stay involved, and I do think the city clerk and the assistant city clerk, they have been amazing, and Brenda was my first encounter with the clerk as well, and we've come a long way since then, and we have a long, long way that we can still go, and I'm looking forward to that ride. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been an honor to serve as the president of this body. The 5 people that I have served with did so with honor, dedication, self-sacrifice, humility, and humor. I knew what I wanted the past 2.5 years to look like. And somehow, in some way, you all surprised me and exceeded my expectations as colleagues and partners, and I thank you for that. It's a solemn duty to wield this gavel and to chair these meetings. But my best advice is this to the council that is about to be sworn in. You can see how even a slight change in council membership can change the city. You can see what a tremendous difference it can make. Even one person, even one council member. The greatest responsibility that you have is to conduct the people's business with a heart committed to civility, an eye fixed on progress, and an open ear to understand those you serve with and those you serve. So as I transition to the trenches of leading government, I see Mayor Ireton nodding there, in our city, I pray that you have the same profound and proud experience that I did. So thank you. Okay, first, would you stand right over there? Yeah.
You want me right there?
Uh-huh, I want you right there.
Who's first?
I'm doing you first.
All right.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know when the microphone on the podium is too short for even me, it's going to be way too short for Jim Ireton. Mr. Mayor, Jim, it's been an honor to work with you for 2.5 years. As a lifelong Salisbury resident, I was excited to come back here in late 2008. And ever since then, I have been impressed not only with who you are and what you've done in your life, but what you've accomplished for this city. So I have always loved most what you achieved, and that results matter. I was proud to serve on a council that helped you make the progress you demanded. You have reduced crime. You've begun to rebuild our wastewater treatment plant. You have improved the health of our river. You have fought for our neighborhoods, and guess what? That's everything you promised to do. You are not done, and I know that. I like this, though. You're only the 9th of 27 mayors to be elected more than once. Wow. That's right, in our city's history. And you're the first and only to have served as a representative of the people, then to be elected mayor, and to once again be elected as a representative of the people. And I think that title suits you. Thank you for your service. Mayor Ireton, in recognition and appreciation for your years of service and dedication to the community and the city of Salisbury as mayor from April 2009 to November 2015, thank you.
Thank you. Well, I don't know how you follow that, especially when the podium is in a different zip code and it's not going to move. Several years ago, I met Jake Day and I said, Jake, we need to go and get this job done. And Jake is correct. You switch one vote here, you switch one leader there, you can make a profound difference in what a people can succeed in doing. And that is what he has done. So when I said earlier this evening that I passed this government on from one strong set of hands to another strong set of hands, what I meant was I passed this government on from a strong set of hands to a very, very strong set of hands. This is the leader that will unite us. This is the leader that understands that there can't be two Salisburys. There has to be one. And I find it amazing that for all the time growing up, and Shaney mentioned it, having Mayor Martin and Carolyn Hall as people who are inspirations to us, we now live in a city where the mayor and the police chief live on the same street. We now live in a place where those people who are in charge are not separated from everyone else. And for that, Salisbury is eternally grateful. So it is an honor and a privilege to present this to Jacob Arday in recognition and appreciation for his outstanding dedication to this community, its people, and all of the city of Salisbury as council president from April 2013 to November 2015. My friends, Jake Day. The mayor-elect and I have two other people that we have to recognize this evening. A couple of weeks ago at one of our forums, we were asked a question about what the most special thing is about Salisbury and what it was that we could do to protect it. I think it was the last question one night at the NAACP forum at Shipman Center. And my answer revolved around being a kid growing up in Salisbury, going to 4 different elementary schools during a very troubled 1970s. And I describe Salisbury for me as a place of 1,000 moms, where you can't go to the grocery store, you can't go to the mall, you can't go to Target, you can't go to the bathroom without running into people who you know have had a profound effect on your life and that were always, even as youngsters, watching out for you. And that's Shaney Shields. From being at East Salisbury School with Terrence, what a fun class that was. Shaney knows, Shaney was there all the time picking us up. But Shaney joins that classic group of 1,000 moms this evening that include Louise Smith and Carolyn Hall and Von Siggers and Lee Whaley and Connie Strott and Barbara Duncan and Kathleen McLean. Those people in our city, those moms that never let us forget that our best work is still ahead of us. So this evening, the council president and I, the mayor-elect and I, get to present to Shani Shields, in recognition and appreciation for years of service and dedication to the community and the city of Salisbury as a member of the Salisbury City Council from April 2005 to November 2015. My friend Shani Shields.
Thank you very much. Now I have two sons to watch over. I think I told Jim when he became mayor that when I would be fussing with him, I said, "Mama, put my mom's hat on now." I have ADD and he does too. So when he first got on, I said, "You gotta have a pill." I take my pills every morning. So I told him, "You gotta have a pill." I said, you can't be everything that everybody wants you to be. You got to learn to be in the mirror first, then come around to us. But I do appreciate this plaque, and as I said before, it's an honor to have served the city of Salisbury, and I will continue to serve the city of Salisbury whether I'm in office or not. And you will see me, as I said before, in public comment, and now I have time to go to the county council meetings also.
23 years ago, I got to meet Tim Spees as he was dropping off his kids at my first class in my first year of teaching, and in my second class in my second year of teaching, Lewis and Emily attended St. Francis School. In that time, Tim has endlessly served, first, the neighbors in the Camden Neighborhood Association as their longtime president, and then all of our neighborhoods throughout the city. You'll never know how many tree plantings, how many rose bush cuttings backs, how much mulch he put out, how many leaves he has raked, how many times he has worked on behalf of the people who he lives around. We would be well to have 33,000 Tim Speeses in our city today. So it is with an honor that we present to Timothy K. Spees in recognition and appreciation for his years of service and dedication to the community and the city of Salisbury as a member of the City Council from April 2011 to November 2015. I present to you Mr. Timothy K. Spees.
I have been a paid public servant for virtually all of my adult life in the military and then public service with Salisbury as well. It's fulfilling. And the one thing I like about public service is there's no end to opportunities. There will never be an opportunity here for Salisbury to be finished with everything that it has to do, because there will always be, excuse me, there will always be new opportunities and new opportunities for individuals to get involved. And that's what I look forward to everyone doing, is staying involved. It was mentioned earlier that we would like more people to fill our seats at the council meetings. That's certainly the case. Monday night, nothing much is going on, and it's kind of a boring night. So come on, folks, get out of the house, and it's half-price burger night at the Irish Penny afterwards. Okay? So each and every one of you has a kernel of want for and expectation for what Salisbury should be. Without saying what you want it to be, no one will know. If you find friends and you talk it over, you have a group. If you have two groups or several groups, you have a committee. If you have more than that, you have an association. And that is where power with neighborhoods and power with groups comes into play with public service and public administration. So I encourage everyone to get out there. Don't be just armchair quarterbacks on Monday night. There's much, much more to it, and I hope you all can get out there. And for these last 4.5 years, I thank you for this opportunity. It's been both a privilege and an honor. Thanks again.
I'd now like to call forward Delegate Carl Anderton. You've got, and are you going to bring the Eastern Shore delegation with you? Okay. I'd like the entire Eastern Shore delegation to come forward if you wouldn't mind.
I first want to say, hey, Mayor. Hey, Mayor.
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, Mayor.
We'll
Right
give you
on.
that.
All right. Real quick, as a former municipal official, I was the mayor in Del Mar and a council member in Del Mar before having the true blessing to serve in the Maryland House of Delegates. I had the opportunity to work with two folks leaving the council tonight, Ms. Shaney Shields and Mr. Tim Spees. And Ms. Shaney, every time we would meet up at a dinner or a function through MML, you know, as I was getting started, I was kind of the young kid on the block, didn't really know anybody. Well, Shaney was my mom at MML. She was like, come sit with me, Carl, I'll take care of you. This is a good person, that's a good person. We don't like him, but that's a good person, and that's it's true. You remember that, right? Yeah, that's right. So, but then I also had the opportunity to get to know Tim Spees, and Tim was always a level guy. He would just tell you straight up if your idea was good or bad. And one day we're going to have that good idea. I truly believe it. But you know, but it's a real pleasure, you know, to have worked with you two in my time as a municipal official and for this past year as a delegate. And you know, it's a real joy to represent Salisbury and Annapolis. And I have a partner that I represent with. Delegate Sharice Ample Hughes and I split Salisbury, and Senator Mathias as well. And we have Delegate Chris Adams here tonight, who probably spent many weekends in Salisbury as a teenager like the rest of us. And I'm sure if you'd like, he could tell us a couple of those stories later. So, but if you guys could come up, we have two citations that we have done up for Councilwoman Shaney Shields and Councilman Tim Spees. So.
Good evening, everyone. It's a good feeling tonight. It just shows you that service runs deep in Salisbury, and it's just a blessing to be here. I'd just like to just highlight, just real briefly, that Shaney, you and I have served together in the capacity of public service, and it's been good. It's been good how we've been able to keep the communication flowing all the way from the city to the county and to the state. So thank you for your service. Thank you for giving us that bit of information as we needed to make good decisions, and I do appreciate it. Last night I was reading a book called Round the Pond, and Shaney was all through that book. She was just giving the rich history that is here, is talking about Georgetown and all the areas here in the city. So please continue to do those things, because we need that as a community to know what went on and where we can go to prosper as we move ahead. And Tim, just like to say to you, you have been part of Weed and Seed and all of the organizations in this community. Continue to thrive, continue to grow, because that's what it takes. And, you know, I met you when I first came back to Salisbury, and I've just been thankful to know you ever since. So God bless each of you, and it's just a blessing to be able to be here. And I think about the quote from Muhammad Ali where he talks about service to others is the rent that I pay for my room here on earth. You are doing it. You've done it. God bless you. We'll continue to support you.
Somebody say something.
Well, first of all, good evening, everyone. To Shaney and Tim, I just want to take an opportunity to thank you for all that you do serving your fellow man. And you take a look around here, and this is what makes Salisbury great. We, working with our council and with you, with all the bushes that you've cut, with all the mentoring that you've done, you will continue to do that. And as you've heard tonight, the agenda is long and the work is hard, and we will get it done together. I thank you very, very much. To our firefighters and our police, paramedics, our volunteers and all, you really are there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I know how this moment feels, and I will be brief. When Fish Powell allowed me the opportunity to come and turn over the keys to the town of Ocean City, and I was there the night. I know how you feel. I know how your wife feels, how Lily will remember, and your dad, the pride it has to radiate through you. And I'll leave it with this. I told both of these mayors, Mr. Comptroller, on the respective nights, folks, that they were elected, I put my arms around them both. I asked them to look at me, and I said, look at me again. Now tonight, when you go home, look in the mirror, because I used to look like that. So as Bill Withers, this is my advice to you. As Bill Withers sings, use me up, use them up, will you? We got work to do. God bless you all, and to the council, thank you very much.
Mr. Soon-to-be Mayor, real quick, I want to share just a little bit of news. I was up in Annapolis today for some meetings, and while I was there, we found out that Governor Hogan's test results came back, and he is 100% cancer-free.
Well, fellow council members, Mayor, this is the time that we exit the stage.
This is going on my permanent record.
Mr. Day, are you prepared to take the oath? I am. You will raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Jacob Day,
do swear or affirm
do swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that I will be faithful
and that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of
execute the office of
Mayor for the City of Salisbury,
Mayor for the City of Salisbury,
according to the Constitution and laws of this state.
according to the Constitution and laws of this state.
Congratulations.
All right. Well, congratulations to the new city council. Before we conduct our final few pieces of business, we are lucky enough this evening to have with us an honored guest, and that honored guest is I believe, a friend of mine, a great servant to the state of Maryland, a great servant to all of us, and I think probably the top vote getter in Maryland's history. I think you could probably turn that into Maryland's most popular guy. I think you could go by that title, Mr. Comptroller. So with that, Comptroller Peter Francho.
Well, I'm going to insist upon a copy of that photograph, Mayor Day, of you getting sworn in with, is it Liz? And Lily? Yeah, I'm going to put it right on my desk up in Annapolis because it inspires me about the future, gives me a sense of optimism. Of course, I always have an optimistic feeling when I cross the bridge. Yep. But Mr. Day, I'd like to thank you for the economic activity that you and your family represent in our region of the state. I personally appreciate it. I am popular, but I am the tax collector too, so take it easy on me. And congratulations to all the members of the family for Jake. I'm a huge fan of Jake Day. I happen to be a veteran, a lot of you are also, but I appreciate his military service. I appreciate the way in which he conducts himself. The pastor gave a wonderful invocation, and I listened very closely to what he said about the challenges facing our country. We're the greatest nation in history, and we're the greatest, I think, state in that nation. I'm proud to be your comptroller, but we have a lot of things going on that are big, big challenges. So, Pastor Cropper, thank you for that wonderful invocation. And thank you to the Day family for loaning us Jake and helping our wonderful state, but also this vibrant community of Salisbury. I'm delighted to be here on this special occasion. I think it's a new chapter in Salisbury's history. I love the statements of the outgoing members of the council. Thought each of them spoke eloquently and beautifully about the fabric of their community. And I offer my sincerest congratulations and best wishes to all of them, but especially to the new council and to the new mayor. And these are positions of leadership. They're on behalf of all of you who are here in this room. Particularly like to thank Jim Ireton for his service as mayor and for continuing to serve this city as a member of the council. Jim, thank you. Yep. So I get to look at the figures all day long, and I can tell you that Salisbury is a city on the rise. This is a great community. Got some tremendous talent, fresh talent, new energy. And I know that this city, when it elects public servants like Jake Day, that this city is going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to attract businesses and new families. It's going to continue its role as a critical player, as an economic engine for the Eastern Shore and for the state of Maryland. Let me emphasize that. Salisbury is crucial to our state's economic fabric. And I appreciate it as your comptroller. And I couldn't be any more optimistic for the future of this great city than to have someone like Jake Day at the helm. Everyone here knows about Jake's impressive background. His intellect and wealth of experience go hand in hand with a fiery passion to serve his community. He was a constant presence in Salisbury even before his name appeared on the ballot. A well-respected citizen who firmly believes that all of us, not just those of us who are lucky enough to hold elected office for a short period of time, but everyone in this room and in this town have a role to play in what happens in our communities. It was not a surprise to me when Jake quickly rose in city government. His inauguration today as the city's 28th mayor is a testament to his commitment to the city, the respect he's earned from his neighbors, business leaders, and colleagues in government. I have no doubt that Salisbury will continue to grow and prosper under the leadership of Mayor Day and the City Council. And as comptroller, I remain committed to working with all of you to build upon the successes and progress of this great city. I'd like to give a special shout out to Senator Jim Mathias. Jim has worked with me just hand in glove up in Annapolis. And Jim, thank you for your service as mayor of Ocean City. Thank you for being a great senator. Thanks to the delegates that are here, Anderton and Chris Adams and Delegate Sample Hughes. They're wonderful advocates. They also vote on my budget, so I have to be nice to them. And I especially want to go back to Pastor Cropper and just give him a thank you for something that meant a lot to me, because he really spoke about those things that are most important to us. I see County Executive Bob Culver in the back. Please give him a round of applause. But thank you very much for letting me swing by here, and I just want to thank again Jake Day Mira Boda, Jack Heath, Jim Arton, Laura Mitchell, is it April Jackson also? And thank you for serving this wonderful region. And I know that the state of Maryland, because I've traveled to every nook and cranny of it, is made up of people that either live on the Eastern Shore or want to live on the Eastern Shore. So thank you all very much for letting me stop by.
Well, Mr. Francio, I didn't expect all those kind words, but I appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here with us today. Although she tried to slip by, I see Councilwoman Lisa Hall from the town of Berlin as well. Hello, thank you for being here. Our good friends and neighbors to the east, and also America's coolest small town. It is now my, I guess, honor to accept the role of President Pro Tempore to conduct the meeting for election of a council president. Before I call for nominations from the council, I will suggest the following rules. These rules will require an adoption with a motion and a second and a vote by the council. I will read the rules aloud before I seek that motion and second. Rule 1, any council member may be nominated for president. No second is needed. Rule 2, a council member may nominate himself or herself. No second is needed. Rule 3, after all nominations are received, nominations will be closed. Rule 4, the vote will be called in order of nomination. Rule 5, when voting, the first to receive 3 votes will be elected council president. Council members may only vote once and may vote for themselves. Is there a motion to adopt the rules proposed?
So moved.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the proposed rules, please signify your support by saying aye. Aye. And the chair votes aye, and I think that's the last time I get to do that. Oh, I don't even get to vote. Yeah, you do.
Would I?
No, you're good.
Okay.
This is all new for us. All right, with that being said, I will now accept nominations for council president.
Mr. President Pro Tem, I nominate Mr. Jack Heath, the councilman from District 3, to be president of the Salisbury City Council.
Okay. We have a nomination of Mr. Jack Heath. Are there any other nominations? All right, hearing none, the nominations are closed. I will now entertain a vote. All those in favor of Mr. Jack Heath as council president, please signify your support by saying aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, Mr. Heath. And now is the time when you play musical chairs and I am quiet.
Oh, okay. We switch up. It's true. Okay, breathe. Okay. Let's see. I'm new at this, so give me a second. All right, I will now call for the election of vice president, following the same procedures as adopted for the election of president.
Mr. President, I would like to nominate Laura Mitchell for Vice President.
Second.
Are there any other nominations from the floor? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor of Laura Mitchell for Vice President, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Congratulations. I would like to now allow some short, brief comments from the mayor and the council members. Mayor Day?
Council President Heath. I think I got that in first. I'll be brief. I've had more than enough time to be heard in the past months, and no doubt about it, I'll be heard over the coming years. So hear me on these items. We will make downtown livelier. We will make our city safer. We will grow our economy. We will increase home ownership in our neighborhoods. We will make this a place where young people believe they have a bright future. We will give you a government you can believe in, and we will give you a Salisbury you can be proud of.
All right.
I can see,
know,
I was
it's
going to
gonna
call
be
you
hard.
mayor. It's going to be hard.
Mr. Ireton. First off, let me say this. We've all talked so much about each other, but let me say this. Some of the greatest leaders in our country have run for office several times before they've won. It can't be discounted how many times newly elected council member Mirboda has run for office, but he is now here. He is ready to serve. Let's give it to him. And lastly, Mr. Council President, I would be remiss if I didn't say to Councilwoman April Jackson that April, your father is in heaven right now, looking down on this day and knowing that all that he worked for has come to fruition with you sitting at this table with us. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you, Mr. Ireton. Ms. Mitchell?
Thank you. What he said?
Second, right?
We will do this, yes, second that. We will do this and a lot more. I'm very confident of that. I've enjoyed serving with those that I've served with thus far. There's been quite a mix, and I look forward to serving with new members and some familiar faces in different roles. But most importantly, I want to thank my husband, Miguel, and my family for being there for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. Mr. Boda?
Finally here. Thank you. I think everything that, we all have said it all tonight. And again, if it wasn't for my family putting up with me for the last 8 years, and my wife, Bridget, my mom, Dad, Linda, Rosemary, Herb, and Sida. A couple other people I want to thank. Jackie Wellfonder was my campaign manager. I finally went out and got a professional. And my brother from Delmar, who is Bunky Luffman, deputy mayor, and Delegate Carl Anderton. And there's plenty of other people in this room who may have knocked on doors for me. There was probably at least 40, I think, this time around. So, but thank you. Thank you to the citizens of District 2 who voted for me, and I appreciate it. And we're here. We're ready to get to work. And I yield the rest of my time to Ms. Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Bowden. Ms. Jackson?
First, I would like to thank my family for helping me. They stuck with me every step of the way. And I wish my father could be here to celebrate this moment with me, but he can't. But I know in my heart he's here. I'd like to thank my mom for being an important role model in my life, keeping me on a straight and narrow path. And I have Von Siggers to thank, because she was that force behind my wing. She pushed me. She really pushed me, because one time I just wanted to give up because I had so many things going on in my life. And when the loss of my father kind of consumed me, but she wouldn't let me give up, and neither would my kids let me give up. And I said, no, my father didn't born a quitter. He born a person, when you start something, you finish. So that's what I wanted to do. So I ended up doing it. And here I am. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you what I'm going to do, because most of you know that I've already passed out flyers, knocked on doors, because we were out for 12 hours a day, sometimes doing those things and campaigning. I will promise you, with these people here, these representatives that you have here, I'm pretty sure that we have a good group here. I'm more than sure from talking to them, communicating with from time to time, and just, listening to them and they listening to me. I know that Salisbury is in good hands today. Shaney, I want to tell you, I thank you, and I want to say, North Prong is also in my agenda also. That is one of my projects. I lived on Lake Street for many years, and I want it to be cleaned up. I want it to be a wholesome and healthy looking place for District 1 to live in. I don't really have much to say, but I'm ready to go. I'm ready, not ready to go home, I'm ready to work. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, voters, for everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. I'm going to go off script a little here. The reason I'm here, besides the fact that I've got elected, I have to thank my wife. We've been together 50 years, and the reason I ran for office the first time is I would go home after the council meetings and I would say, I cannot believe what's going on. And she said to me, don't complain unless you're willing to do something about it. So thank you, honey. I am really honored to have been elected by my fellow board members, council members. And I'm excited to have Jake Day as our mayor. And I know that we will continue to make the city of Salisbury the best city on the eastern shore of Maryland. I pledge to you that we will remember that when we vote, we represent your voice. We represent the voice of approximately 33,000 citizens in the city of Salisbury. I pledge to you also that we will conduct our business in an atmosphere of mutual respect and inclusion. That is my pledge. I thank you all for coming tonight, for being a part of this great city, and look forward to working with each of you. If there are no further comments, this meeting is adjourned.